Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's career coaching drop-in session. My name is Lisa, and I'm Job Coach Germany. So it's great of you to be here. And actually, what I would like to talk to you about this week is not that it's already summer in Germany. As you can see, I'm here only in my shirt. Which is actually kind of funny because 2 weeks ago we still had minus 20 degrees and 40 centimeters of snow, if not even more. And we actually didn't get out of the house. We couldn't drive on the streets because there was so much snow. And now the weather has changed and the temperature has risen so dramatically that it's just really crazy. 2 days ago, I was sitting outside on the balcony and having lunch in my shirt. So yeah, I'm adjusting to the new weather and it's just great. And I'm enjoying that spring is coming. And I hope that you are enjoying the weather at your end as well. But that's not why we're here and what I would like to talk to you about today. Some of you have reached out to me to talk to me about applying for a job in Germany. And today I picked out one of these little aspects that I would like to focus on. That is actually the fear of applying for a new job. So I had this one person that contacted me, and thank you very much for raising this question because it's actually quite interesting, and I have seen it amongst several of my clients now, that they are afraid of simply doing it. Just do it. Simply apply for that particular job. Simply apply for that job of your dreams. Simply apply for any kind of opportunity or chance that is out there. And if it's an obstacle, if it's a challenge for you, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to worry about that, because this is something that you can worry about later. Just, for example, what this person told me is, am I ready for getting a new job? Am I ready for a job in Germany? Am I ready to apply in German? Well, who cares? It doesn't really matter. If the job advertisement is in English, you can be sure that you can apply for that job in English as well. And if the job ad is in German, obviously you need to try to apply in German. And if you need help with that, obviously I am the address to go to. So basically, if you need help with preparing your application documents, so your covering letter or your CV, or preparing for a job interview in German or in English or in both languages, you can simply just contact me, and I'm here to help you out with that. And I'm also here to help you with that fear of yours. Vince is here again. Hi, Vince. Thank you very much for joining me here. Finally, I managed to be on time. Sometimes these technical issues are just, awful to work on. And that's why sometimes Facebook just lets me into this live session here a couple minutes later. But now I'm here on time, I'm on track, and we want to talk about fear. So why are you hesitant when it comes to applying for a new job? Well, fear is actually a feeling that probably many of you know, and there are different facets of this fear. So there are different degrees of severity, ranging from slight nervousness to a full-blown panic attack. And some things that you can probably relate to, like many other emotions that fear triggers, can actually be in the physical reaction, something like shortness of breath, sweats, or an increased heart rate, or even an increased blood pressure, or muscle tension, or an increased responsiveness to certain aspects that you're encountering during your daily routine, or even a stop of your gastrointestinal activities. So basically, a stop of that, and a shutdown, and then your body doesn't function to the full extent anymore. And this is something that is part of the fear. So if you have the feeling that you want to apply for a job and one of these physical reactions comes up, you don't have to worry. You don't get a panic attack right away. Basically, once you feel these different physical or have these physical reactions, what is happen here is basically that there is, from an evolutionary point of view, we are getting ready to escape. Ready to escape and just leave the situation because we are afraid to move on. And this is actually very closely related to applying for a new job or a new situation. So first of all, what you're thinking of when you all have been following me for quite some time, you know that you are being prepared for your job in Germany. That does not only include finding the right job in Germany, but it also includes finding a flat, integrating into the culture, learning a new tax system, learning more about insurances in Germany, and so forth. So these are the things that might look like a huge amount that you cannot pass, yeah, a mountain that you cannot cross, or a mountain that you still or simply cannot climb. But you need to break it down into smaller steps, and that's what I would like to talk to you about today. So we live in a fast-moving world, and there are digitization and moving to a new city or moving even to a new country with a different culture. These are things that you're confronted with and that look like and that are challenging tasks for you. And this is totally normal. But what is it that you're actually afraid of? Well, we being humans, we are afraid because we are humans, and humans are creatures of habit. And we love known situations. We love routines. We love routines at work. We love routines at home. And we love recurring habits. And not only structure our day according to that, but it also gives us a feeling of security. So basically, if habits and routines that are familiar to us in situations that are familiar to us break away, this obviously logically leads to a normal way of fear, and the normality disappears and it basically turns into fear, or it can turn into fear. And now I would like to give you some hints and tricks what you can do in order to get a grip on that fear, so that you don't have to worry about that too much. And if you're working on these different aspects in the long run, then you can actually be relaxed in the situation once you feel the shortness of breath or muscle tension or any of these physical aspects, physical reactions that you encounter. So first of all, have the confidence in yourself. Yeah, so there is a reason why you are applying for this particular job. And this reason might be that you have a certain degree, you have certain qualifications that are necessary to do this job. And also, you might have some work experience that you can already show and that you can already tell your employer and the potential company that wants to employ you during the job interview. So that is something that you don't need to be afraid of. Or as well, think about the number of times that you have already encountered of being in a situation that is new to you. So when you have experienced something new, a new situation, and just simply think of that, and think about how you managed that situation. How did you feel in that situation? What were the positive aspects, but also the negative aspects? Because the positive aspects will support you in your experience of going out there, simply just doing it and simply going for it and embracing the change and embracing the new situation. But also the negative aspects you shouldn't push them aside, but you know how you feel. And if that's negative, then you can think of, okay, how did I react and what could I have done differently in order to feel better about this situation? How can you prepare for that situation? Because preparation is key, not only for a job interview, not only for your job or application documents, but also with regards to your mindset and how you can work on these different triggers that an unknown situation might get you in, and how you can encounter these fears and these triggers, and how you can maybe breathe through the situation. Also, obviously, analyze your fear. So where does this fear come from? And also accept this fear. So admit to yourself that you are scared. It is okay. There is no point of you to just hide in your bedroom or hide in your closet just because you are afraid. It's okay for us to be afraid. Let me tell you about a situation of mine when I was afraid. So I was supposed to organize when I was still working in the corporate world, and when I was still working at my daily job in the automotive industry. I was supposed to give a speech, and I was supposed to organize this huge event. And I was just afraid. I was panicking. I was sweating a lot. This, for me, it's always I'm sweating with my hands, which is really uncomfortable. And I don't want to shake hands, but in the German culture, we shake hands all the time. Well, now with the pandemic going on, this is now easing off, and I'm actually very happy that we don't have to shake hands anymore that often. But it is in our natural culture that we shake hands. And obviously, when you're sweating, this could also be when you're sweating with your hands. And people will realize that you are afraid of the situation, right? So I was afraid that this event that I'd organized and the speech that I would give would be a totally disaster. Yeah. And then just during the preparation phase of this speech, I was talking to one of the attendees of the event. And this person told me that she is afraid of actually going out there, and what happens if this person is called out, or if this person is actually talking about people development, and this person doesn't really know how to get to the next level in their career, and this person doesn't really know what to do, and the person is afraid of moving forward and actually talking to someone like myself, who is actually able to tell them, okay, let's figure out what kind of skills you already have and what kind of skills you would like to develop, and then let's find the correct training for you. That was still when I was working in people development. And that's when I realized, hey, it's not me who's supposed to be afraid, because if I'm afraid, that means I don't go out there. I don't show myself to you guys. I don't spread the word. I don't spread the gospel. I don't spread whatever I know about people development, what I know about recruiting. I don't share all of the knowledge that I have. And this is just cruel of me. So this is how I changed my perspective. That's when I realized, hey, if I'm afraid, that basically means I don't share my knowledge with other people that can benefit from that knowledge. So you guys can benefit from the knowledge that I have, from the experience that I have gained working in HR, working in the recruiting field, and working with people like yourself who have applied for companies, and why they've been rejected or why they've been accepted. And this is why I'm here. This is what I would like to share with you guys. So think about it in that way. You are afraid, but see it from a different perspective. See it from a different angle, and think about, what can I actually do? So if I don't go out there, if I don't go out of my comfort zone and address this topic and address what I can do better, or simply go for that job and simply apply for that job, I won't ever know what happens. And I don't know how I can support the potential company that I would like to work with. You probably know in your head how you can be a great value added to that company. But how does the company know that? They can only know that once you apply for the company, for that job, once you apply and go out there and go for that job interview. So obviously is something that I said before that is interesting and important for you to do beforehand as well, in order to not be afraid, is prepare yourself. And some minor steps in your preparation that you can do is basically work out small mini pitches to introduce yourself. And you can think about it in that way. If you're going to the job interview, think about a small or mini pitch that you want to give in German, or if you don't feel confident enough, then just do it in English. Or think about the things that are easy for you to talk about, that you feel comfortable with. And if you, for example, then go to the next step and you are hired by your dream employer, and then you are afraid of starting your job, starting your first day, how is the first day going? Think about a mini pitch in your head to introduce yourself to new colleagues. Or think about harmless small talk topics that you could talk about to break the ice with your colleagues, right? And they would do the same, just go with the flow. Think about questions that you could ask your colleagues and show your interest, yeah, express your interest in their job, into the company, in their life, and just find out how they are working together as a team, right? And um, before any situation that you are afraid of, whether that might be preparing for the job application. So basically preparing your job documents, your application documents, your CV, your covering letter, or whether it's the situation of going to the job interview, or just simply a telephone interview, or your first day at your new job. Don't worry about that. Go in front of the mirror and stand in front of the mirror and practice your friendliest smile. And then you tell yourself you can do it. You can get this job. You can make this telephone interview. You can prepare your job documents or your application documents to the point that gets you invited to the job interview. And you can manage to make friends at work, or to actually have a good relation to your colleagues at work. So this is what happens. You smile into the mirror and you make yourself, you do this little mental exercise and prepare yourself and tell yourself, get ready. Yeah, just get ready and do that. Because if you don't go out there, the others cannot benefit from your work experience, from the qualification that you have. And then also, something that you need to consider is changing your perspective. So basically thinking about what can you actually learn from your mistakes, and accept that there is a need to fail, because otherwise if you don't fail, there's nothing that you can learn, right? It's there is no point of knowing everything already, because that basically means there is no way of improvement. But from the failures that you've gained, you can learn, and you can progress, because that's how you learn. And this is how you can actually learn more about the different aspects of your job, of the things that you do, or within a culture when you're new to a new situation. And these are the small steps that you need to think about, that is so much greater than fear. So think about the greater picture. Think about you being happy at your job, and what you need to focus on to find out whether you are happy in that particular job. And also think about it in that way. That's something that I talked about last week already. For example, during the job interview, shift your focus from I really want this job and I'm so afraid that I don't get it, to what can this company do for me in order to feel comfortable at my new work? Or what can this company do in order to support me to settle in my new job, in the new country? So maybe they can offer you certain perks, something like you might get a card so you can travel by tram or bus for free, because the company pays for that. Maybe that is something that you could talk about. Or how can they help you relocate from your country to the new country, to Germany? How can they help you relocate? How can they unpack or pack your boxes in your flat where you are right now and move to a new city, move to a new country, and unpack your boxes here in Germany in your new home again. So this is something that you need to focus on and think about. So more a cooperation aspect rather than the fear aspect. And obviously, something that I always try to support my clients with regards to these difficult situations, and especially with regards to the job interview, I always say to them, just breathe in, breathe out, go to the mirror and tell yourself that you can do it, and just go out there and do it. So also think about it in that way. Should I already go for that job? Am I ready for that job? There has like a job has opened up and I just came across the job ad, or a company has contacted you via LinkedIn. All of these things can happen and you are too afraid to contact them. So what are you doing then and there? So basically what you can think about doing is just go for it. Just apply for it, and your future self can think about what happens next. Your future self can think about or worry about whether you are ready for that job or not. Just go through the application process already, and then you realize and you get a feeling whether you like that employer or not. You get the feeling whether this job has the right task, the task that you want to do, the task that you can actually do, whether you are a right match for the company, whether you are a right match for this position. Because if you don't do anything and you don't apply for that job, that basically means there is no way or no potential to find out whether you are a right fit for that particular position, for that particular company. And something else that you might be afraid of is whether your job application documents are to the standard of a German company. So the Germans have a specific standard on what we are looking forward in a job and what we are looking forward in an applicant. So we are looking for the qualification, but we're also looking for the format and whether you have any spelling mistakes and so on. And if this looks like a huge hurdle for you, this is basically something that you can prepare beforehand. There are software or also browser extensions that you can use that help you with your grammar, that can help you with your spelling. And then they point out these mistakes to you, and you don't have to send out a job application that has mistakes in them. Because obviously, if a recruiter finds mistakes, spelling mistakes on your CV, they might not invite you to the job interview. Or if they find gaps in your CV, they might not invite you to the job interview. But these are the things that you can prepare. You can take a look at your documents, whether they are on point, whether you have done everything in order to make your job application documents look like they are spotless, right? They are flawless. And this is what the recruiters are actually looking for. So they want to see how you have developed your career. And this might actually be a topic that I should talk about in the future, like the difference between a career path in the English-speaking world and a career path in Germany, because this is actually quite strict in Germany, but this is a different topic. Let me just simply write that down now so I can talk about that in a different session. But this is something that the recruiters are looking for. So they are looking at the format. Does the style match? Does it add up? And the dates, like, for example, we put a date on our covering letter and we also put a date on our CV. And these two need to match up. For example, if you have prepared your CV half a year ago and you're just writing the covering letter now, and you have different dates on your covering letter and on your CV, this might end up in you not being invited to the job interview, because the recruiter then thinks, so this covering letter has been updated, but the CV has not been updated. This is really strange. So maybe this person isn't really interested in applying for this particular job. Just simply adjusting the date of the covering letter and sending out generic CVs and generic covering letters, right? But this is something that you don't need to worry about, because this is something that you can use in the preparation phase and simply go for it and prepare your documents and think about that. And if you are afraid that there is anything that might put you on the staple of, no, we are not looking at this application, well, simply contact me and book a discovery call with me, and then we can go through your application documents, and I can have a look whether you are well prepared already, or whether you might need my support on your journey to your job. And Mojo is here. Hello. Just waving real quickly. Hi, I'm happy that you're here. So let me just quickly take a look whether there's anyone that has a question. I'm not so sure whether I can actually see that here right now, because there are no, okay. No, I cannot see any comments. Okay, well, just to wrap up this really quickly. So if you have the fear at any point in your job application process, so just before writing your documents, or just before the telephone interview, or just right before the job interview, or just on the day of your first day at your new job, there might be physical reactions like shortness of breath or sweats or an increased heart rate. Don't panic. Don't get a panic attack. You can prepare for this fear. As a human being, are creatures of habit, we feel uncomfortable if there is a new situation. And just thinking about moving to a new country, or just thinking about starting a new job, can cause a panic attack. I've had talks with people that they had been afraid of opening their application file on their computer and preparing their documents, because they were afraid of opening that, because they were so afraid to get a decline, to get a rejection from the company. But how can you know whether you get a rejection from the company if you don't apply for that job? So first of all, again, have the confidence in yourself. You can do that. You need to go out there and show your talent to other people, because if you don't show it, if you don't apply, nobody will ever find out what your talent is. Nobody will ever benefit from the work experience that you've already gained from your previous employers, or from the qualification that you've gotten from your university. Then think about the number of times when you've ventured into something new. So what kind of situations have you been in that were new to you, and how have you handled these situations? What were the positive aspects and what were the negative aspects, and how could you possibly have changed these negative aspects and worked through this feel of fear in a different way so that it feels more comfortable to you? Also, preparation is key. So think about small mini pitches to introduce yourself during the job interview or telephone interview, or on your first day. Think about harmless small talk topics that you can talk about. Then also a different aspect, admit to yourself that you are scared, and accept that fear is there. Everybody is afraid, and that's normal. But think about it and try to shift your focus to the other situation. What might this person be afraid of? And maybe how can you help them? Like maybe the company is afraid of losing you as a talent, and then you can show them, well, actually, I've already experienced what your company is going through right now, and I can help you with A, B, and C. So just thinking about that and shifting your focus might help you in this situation. So changing your perspective. And also, what is most important, accept that there is a need to fail. Yeah, because from failure, this is how we learn. This is how we increase our potential. This is how we progress personally, in our job, in our private life, and everywhere. So thank you very much for everyone that joined me here today. It was great talking to you, and I hope to see you all again next week. And yeah, let me know if you have any further questions. And I wish you all a wonderful week. Yeah, someone just joined me here. Okay, thank you. But this session is already over. So if you have any questions, feel free to contact me via direct message. And I speak to you again soon, next week. Bye. So bye Instagram and bye Facebook. Bye Facebook.